from the News Center in high definition. This is News Channel 8 on your side today.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to News Channel 8 Today. I'm Rod Carter.
I'm Gail Guayardo. Today is Monday, February 11th. In the headlines this morning, a terrifying tornado caught on camera. The twister ripped through Hattiesburg, Mississippi yesterday and within seconds caused widespread damage. There are no reports of injuries this morning. Hattiesburg officials canceled school today because of storm damage. The storm downed trees, damaged buildings, and injured more than a dozen people. Officials have declared an emergency on the campus of the University of Southern Mississippi. That's where the storm ripped away a roof and blew out windows.
The Northeast continues digging out after the historic and deadly blizzard. It dumped as much as 3 feet of snow in some areas and knocked out power to more than 500,000 people. 180,000 homes and businesses are still without power this morning, and driving bans in several states have been lifted as snowplow crews work to clear the streets. Airports that closed during the height of the storm have reopened and flights have resumed. However, it could be a while before things get back to normal. And of course, this morning we're also following breaking news out of the Vatican, where the Pope has announced he is resigning. Details about that are coming up in just a moment.
Right now, let's go to Storm Team 8 meteorologist Lee Spann. She's in the forecast center with more on the storm and our weather here locally.
Yeah, completely different forecast when you look just to our north across the rest of the Gulf Coast region, where heavy rainfall is expected and happening right now from Texas all the way through Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and South Carolina. But it's clear here across the Tampa area. 61 degrees and comfortable in Plant City, here at 57 in Homosassa, 64 Clearwater, 59 Fishhawk, and 58 in Bartow. By 9 a.m., just a few clouds, actually quite nice, 68 degrees. We get up to 74 degrees at noon, so it will be warm with highs near 80, partly cloudy and 76 degrees at 6 p.m. Now let's check in on the roadways this morning. How's it looking out there, Leslie?
Actually, not too bad of a drive. We still have a couple of accidents working out in the Hillsborough County area. Van Dyke at Dale Mabry. This one has injuries involved. Also, a collision over here, more in the residential area. It's located at 113th Avenue, right at 15th Street. Meanwhile, Bay Area bridges look great. 275, no delays. That's Look at the Roadways. Back to Rod and Gail.
All right. Thank you very much, Leslie.
We're following breaking news this morning from the Vatican. NBC News has confirmed that Pope Benedict is resigning. The Vatican says 85-year-old pontiff will resign on February 28th. The 85-year-old Benedict reportedly announced his decision during a meeting of Vatican cardinals this morning, saying he didn't feel that he could carry on the job. He's the first pope to resign in modern history. There are reports the last pope to step down was in the year 1296. Looking for continued coverage this morning on WFLA.com, and of course coming up later this morning on the Today Show.
And now to a story that's happening today here in Hillsborough County. Trevor Dooley, a man convicted of manslaughter, will likely be released from jail on bond today while he appeals his case. Dooley shot and killed a neighbor during an argument over a skateboarder. News Channel 8's Chip Osowski is live this morning at the Orient Road Jail with more details on this. And I know, Chip, the family is outraged about this.
Absolutely, Rod. On Friday, a Hillsborough County judge ruled that Dooley can be released from custody if he posts a $100,000 bond. That will likely happen sometime after 8 o'clock this morning. A jury convicted 72-year-old Trevor Dooley of manslaughter in November. Dooley shot and killed 41-year-old David James during an argument over a skateboarder in a Valrico park in 2010.
Mr. Dooley is requesting that the court use its discretion to grant him an appeal bond in this case, Your Honor.
The prosecution and defense were back in court last Monday as this case enters a new chapter. Dooley is now appealing his 8-year sentence, and he wants to be released on bond.
He appeared for each and every court date. He appeared for his sentencing hearing while he was found guilty by a jury, and he appeared for his sentencing hearing.
The prosecution argued that Dooley should stay behind bars, fearing he could be a flight risk.
He has no financial ties to this community. He has no property ties to this community. I'm not aware of him having any business ties to this community.
On Friday, Judge Ashley Moody granted Dooley's request. An attorney not associated with this case says while this is not a common occurrence, he does understand the judge's decision.
There doesn't seem to be any reason why an appeal bond wouldn't be appropriate in this case, because at his age, he may well die in prison. And if we find out he was wrongfully convicted, it'd be a shame for the man to die in prison.
And according to the sheriff's office, once bond is posted at the clerk's office, deputies will then outfit Dooley with a GPS monitoring device. before he walks out those doors. Rod?
All right, Chip, thank you. And following that manslaughter conviction, the judge could have sentenced Dooley to a maximum of 30 years in prison.
Now to a developing story out of Tampa. This morning, police are still trying to figure out who fired a bullet that hit a woman in the leg after the night parade in Ybor City over the weekend. News Channel 8's Adrian Pedersen joins us now live from Ybor, near where the shooting happened. So, Adrian, what do police know about the stray bullet? I know you've been on the phone with them and trying to reach out all morning. Any updates?
Gail, I do have a few more details for you. They're now saying that they don't believe this bullet was necessarily intended for the woman who did get hit by it. So her name is Camille Prince. She is doing okay. She went to the hospital, but police say she's doing okay now. But they are still looking for the person responsible.
Store clerk Shakia Harris expected chaos during the night parade. But she didn't foresee what happened Saturday night.
We hear a loud gunshot. People start flooding this way.
Dozens of frantic people tried to take cover inside the Ybor supermarket.
Some of our customers were freaking out because they didn't know what was going on. And we just see everyone just all running this way and screaming. It was really bad.
Tampa police say two groups of parade goers got into a fight when someone pulled out a gun and fired. A stray bullet hit a woman in the thigh.
The parade is to bring everybody here and show what Ybor's about and what, our heritage and what all of it, Guavaween, all those types of things. You would hope that the bad would stay away.
We talked to one guy who was walking down the street earlier. He told us it was pretty chaotic down here after this happened. But I also talked to some parade goers over the weekend, and they didn't even know about it. So if you left right after the parade, you probably didn't even see any of this go down. Gail?
Okay, thanks, Adrian. For more details about the stray bullet case, including the Crime Stopper tip line number, check out the homepage of WFLA.com.
Now to a story that is all new this morning. A pizza delivery driver is recovering from a gunshot wound. Tampa police say two gunmen robbed and shot that delivery driver in the 1500 block of West Cypress Street overnight. Investigators say this happened after the driver had delivered a pizza to the Vintage Loft apartment complex there. Police say the victim is in stable condition. Gun safety is going to be the focus of a roundtable in Philadelphia. Vice President Joe Biden is headed to the city of brotherly love today. He's going to hold a discussion with law enforcement officials and lawmakers as well. After the closed meeting, the vice president will then share more information about that discussion. Today, the former chairman of the Republican Party of Florida is set to go on trial on fraud and theft charges. Jurors must decide if Jim Greer committed a crime by directing more than $200,000 of party money to his company. And according to the Associated Press, topics could also include allegations of prostitutes at a party fundraiser in the Bahamas and lavish spending on fancy restaurants and luxury hotels by state GOP leaders. Greer faces up to 75 years in prison if convicted. He has pleaded not guilty.
California authorities hope a $1 million reward will help them find and arrest former police officer Christopher Dorner. He's wanted for killing 3 people and shooting 2 others in what authorities say is revenge for his firing from the force in 2008. More than 100 law enforcement officers have been searching for Dorner in the mountains east of Los Angeles since last week.
The reward that the mayor talked about, $1 million. This is the largest local reward ever offered to our knowledge. Some may ask, why so large? This is an act, and make no mistake about it, of domestic terrorism.
Over the weekend, authorities released surveillance video. They say it is Dorner outside of the San Diego police station dumping evidence the morning after the first killings. This morning, authorities in California released the name of the Riverside police officer allegedly killed by Dorner. He's 34-year-old Michael Crane. Investigators say Crane and his 27-year-old trainee partner were sitting at a traffic light when they were ambushed by Dorner. Coming up on the Today Show, more coverage on the manhunt for the fugitive former officer. This morning, the mayor of Los Angeles is live to discuss the case. That's just ahead on the Today Show at 7 a.m.
All right, at 6:39, if you're just joining us, we're following some breaking news this morning after the Vatican confirmed that Pope Benedict is resigning. More details about that story is coming up in just a moment. Also, on a different notice, the biggest award show in the music industry. Going to tell you about the big winners at the Grammys last night, and the biggest dog show on the planet begins tonight. And some of our four-legged friends from the Bay Area will be in that competition.
And traffic is starting to get a little bit busier as you head into downtown Tampa. I've got live shots coming up with your True Speed traffic.
And we're about to see the school buses rolling out on those roadways as well. So if you're sending the kids off to the bus stop here soon, it's going to feel actually pretty comfortable, not too cool. Temperatures around 64 degrees this morning, a few passing clouds. We already checked in this morning with Dora in Inverness. She's at a comfortable 54 degrees this morning. But look at our afternoon high, 80 degrees, certainly warm for February with a few passing clouds. Don't forget the Storm Team 8 is on the radio now with our Clear Channel partners. You can check us out on News Radio 970 WFLA. And I'll be back to let you know when the rain chances increase and when it gets a little cooler. It's 6:40 and you're watching News Channel 8 today.